Hey guys, so I wanted to do a little pick a pile reading for you. This video is going to be time stamped. So after the intro, if you feel you know which pile you want to pick, you can go ahead and skip to the timestamp for the pile that you're drawn to. I'll put the timestamp in the description below. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what resonates, what doesn't. Thank you guys for everyone that is, for all of you that have been commenting, liking, subscribing. That really helps my channel grow, and it makes it to where you guys don't miss out on any of the content I put out. And you know, this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. It's just general for the collective in general. Yeah. It is about what you need to hear right now. So if you're watching this month, if you're watching this 2 months from now, that's when you're supposed to watch it. And so this is for you. That's my intention, that you see this when you're supposed to. And sometimes it might be after the fact of what you're dealing with, but sometimes when you see it will be the time that you'll actually be able to receive it or be able to take actions accordingly. So yeah, just go ahead and focus on that question of what you need to hear right now, or ask Spirit what you need to hear right now, and keep that in mind. And then pick the pile that you're most drawn to. And as I said, the timestamps will be in the description below. So this is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Hey, pile 1. So if you picked pile 1, this is your pile. I'll go ahead and put the description, or no, I'll put the decks in the description below. Let's see. It's between these two. Okay. So right offhand, heart of the matter. Align life's pathways through the heart. I know this is like here we go. It's like an angelic looking being or whatever. Being. But I get the sense like these are strings, and it's like aligning life's pathways through the heart. So it's like start putting the ties to your heart. So it's like if you're not, it's almost like if, you can say you want something, or you can say you're working towards something, but if other things in your life and belief patterns and, your thought patterns and stuff aren't in line with that, you could be sabotaging yourself and kind of limiting the manifestation that would normally be possible for you. So yeah, I really see like a matter of like clear pathways. Make sure the like I said, what you're putting out there, what you're believing in yourself, what you're accepting for yourself is in alignment with what you're after. And I mean, either way, with the right heart and everything, but I'm just saying, like, be true to yourself. If you're acting one way, but saying you want to do this other thing, it's like, okay, well, there's a disconnect there. So, and let's go with this. Okay. I don't do reversals. Oh my gosh. I felt like it's like gonna fall further. Okay, so this is the Queen of Cups, Palace of Cups. Wow, there's 2 Palace cards here. Palace of Wands, and Queen of Swords. I hope you guys can see that. So yeah, this deck has different like extra cards, and it's the Palace cards, and it's kind of like basically, a home or environment for that energy. So depending on the reading, it's kind of how to look at it. It's interesting though, Queen of Cups is flanking the Palace of Cups here, and the Queen of Swords though is flanking the Palace of Wands. I also get the sense that like this might be, you and another person, and I mean, I'm not sure yet who's who. I mean, it could be vice versa too. But this feels like very, directed energy. And even though normally the Cups is actually more emotional and fluid in that way, and the Swords is more, cut and dry. Cups is emotional, intuitive, I was going to say intellectual. Hold on. I feel like there's a reason for that. It's emotional, intuitive, yeah, like psychic, all that. But some of you guys maybe, confusing intellectual for emotional. So it's like you may be going into your intellect and trying to analyze stuff and, trying to understand what you're working with in the guise of, I'm being emotional, but it's like, or vice versa again. I'm being emotional, but really what you're doing is you're just like analyzing it and trying to get to the bottom of it. And you're not really digging in your emotions, but rather some of you in this case it could be a situation where you're, overthinking it. I'm not the person to say overthinking because that's that's something I do. But no, basically in a sense of putting up walls or trying to feel safe. Some of you guys might be delving in the spiral of your intellect and calling it your emotions, and so that's why you kind of stay there, or it gets you further in your emotions to where it's hard to get out because it's like you've used your intellect to get in. So it's like, again, it's a disconnect kind of. That's one group of you. It doesn't have to be everybody. That might not be for everyone. But like I said, so this is intuitive, emotional, and Swords is mental, verbal, thought pattern. And for those of you that it is like that situation where one's, where you're calling it one thing but doing something else with it and like saying that it is the equivalent, it could be literally like this is two sides of yourself. And because this is the one that would be overthinking things. And this is the one that would be, more about the emotional and intuitive. A lot of times with the Queen of Cups, it's, trying to influence through that. So influencing the environment around you, influencing the emotional environment, the psychic, trying to work with people in that. Whereas the Queen of Swords is influencing by, putting down boundaries and, or, overthinking it too. I mean, that's a lot of times a page card, but still, it's still that same energy. But like I was saying, this feels very direct and very focused. I mean, it's looking up, but it's like, yeah. Whereas this is like, even though if she's supposed to be working towards that, like it's looking at us as the audience. So it's kind of like this feeling that I feel like, and that's the thing is it's like Cups is matching up with Cups and feels direct. Whereas Swords isn't matching up with Wands because Wands is like a creative energy. So it's creative, passionate, but if she's going at it with mentalizing and trying to, intellectualize things, then she might not be hitting the mark on the passionate creative because she's too in her head. So, and it's like, I feel that disconnect because here it is. It's like if they're both working towards this, well, this one's looking off in the distance. So it's not hitting the mark, so to speak. I also get this idea that this, just symbolically speaking, what I'm seeing right now, this energy, this mark, so to speak, again, I said, to hit is very like, it blends in. So some of you guys might be feeling like what you're trying to achieve, the environment you're trying to achieve, whether it's the house you're already in, the home you're already in, or something you're working towards, you or the person you're dealing with or a different part of you may feel like it's hard to hit that mark because it blends in with everything else. It's like, well, how do I make this dream of mine or this dream, creative, passionate thing when it just feels like it blends into everybody else's thing and I don't know if I have my voice yet. It's almost like feels like you're trying to create your voice with the Swords energy, but it's like you don't have your voice yet. You're already starting to like almost throw stones at. I don't know, that's not the exact word, but basically, yeah, trying to pitch at getting this creative energy going, but you don't even know who you are in your voice yet. Some of you, like I said, this could be the other person you're dealing with, but you know, take what resonates, leave the rest. But then this one is like super direct. However, I feel like this is an easier target. I just feel it. It may or may not look like that for you. Whereas this is blending in with everything. This is blending in with the colors, but it doesn't matter. She swims through things. Sorry, that's my phone. She swims through things. So like she's able to, sorry, I'm turning this off. Make those connections. She's able to decipher through, read through it. So it's interesting with the heart of the matter too. It's like, this is saying like, you know, the strings, like make the strings, make sure everything is connecting. So it's like, if you're double-minded in this, 1 minute you're doing this, or one area maybe you're doing this, maybe in your creative pursuits you're doing this, but in your emotional you're doing this. But it's like, okay, just because you're tackling something emotionally, for some of you again, emotionally, intuitively like that, and you're going head on, well, on this side it looks like you're kind of tackling this creative place you want to be from a headspace, in the mental space, from a not passionate space, but rather in a, let me try to control everything. So some of you guys, it's a matter of, you know, letting things be, you know, letting yourself go through the human experiences. Yeah, hold on, I'm trying to see something. There's also like a feeling like how her hair feels like this, like, I feel like some of you guys are, again, even in this, approaching this element, this idea of connecting things and all that in a very logical sense, rather than okay, I need to heal in this place. This might take a little bit. There might be some pains. There might be some unexpected things. It's more logical, like, oh, well, what I've seen is like this. This is how this works, and this is how it's supposed to be. So, like, I feel like some of you are taking this, like, ethereal realm or angelic principle of like reconnecting things in your heart and making sure things are not accurate, but consistent throughout. And you're taking it from a very human headspace, very human grounded headspace. So much so that it's really hard for you to see this for what it is, because that's why it's like you've been having trouble with getting to the heart of the matter. Because, you know, you're literally like trying to shoot at this, or, you know, with the sword, whatever, but it's all blending in for you, feels like. Let me see if there's anything else I'm seeing in this. And this could be, I mean, this is like Cancer right here. This is Libra right here. You can have maybe Cancer, Libra in your charts, or dealing with a Cancer or Libra, or you yourself are a Cancer or Libra. I think that's what I already said in the first one, but first thing I just said. But yeah, this is very like technical energy going to try to achieve something creative, which is kind of creative, passionate, you know, like really, you know, and this is very emotional energy, trying to work on something emotional. So a lot of the times too, you may feel like you can get this kind of success in weeding through and getting to the heart of the matter, because you feel like either you or the person you're dealing with, whatever, this energy has been successful so far, but this energy is not. So it's hard to convey this over here, or it's hard to make this start working over here. And that's why you've seen an inconsistency in things. Let's go with this one. Darkness. Yeah. Long night moon. And I do feel like that. I feel like a lot of this is like, there's this whole path and it's darkness. I mean, it's supposed to be darkness, but this is actually one of the lighter cards in the, but regardless, it's a matter of trusting that even if you can't see what's out further, or even if the only thing you see is the path you're on, you know, it's not about going into your intellectual and being like, well, I don't see this, so this is how this is supposed to be, and this is what I know. It's not about that. It's not about limiting that. It's not about limiting this. It's just about taking this path and knowing that this place you're in right now might feel like a darkness. It might feel like things aren't working or things aren't matching up, and really the matter of it is you need to be honest with yourself in what you're doing. What energy are you putting where, and what energy, you know, things are mismatched a little bit. So it's just a matter of shifting your energies a little bit and being honest with yourself about, you know, what's heartstrings in yourself, maybe even, you know, it's like a pun like that. need to be pulled? You know, what needs to be adjusted? What needs to be adjusted so that you can see this not as a human being, but rather as an ethereal thing. And you can, ethereal, heart, space, intellectual, intuitive, not intellectual, I did it again. See, you guys, I feel like you guys are really going into this in an intellectual headspace. And you can't intellectualize miracles, and you can't intellectualize the next step, because when you look at tomorrow, and that's, I mean, last month's, or no, June's, I believe, Gemini reading. I believe if you feel drawn to Gemini, if you are a Gemini, I would suggest you check out that reading. It's very much about where you are right now versus where you're supposed to be next year. Next year looks terrifying. And it's not because it actually is. It's just because with where you are right now and what you've known and accomplished right now is not where you're going to be next year. And by the time it's next year, it'll just be like second nature. It'll be easy. Not easy, but, you know, fluid. You'll be in that right space. But for also what I was saying, as far as Gemini, I was saying Gemini, fluid, heart space. Oh, so yeah. So as far as the heartstrings, I was saying, you know, you need to know which parts, what to pull in yourself, what to motivate in yourself. But again, you also need to, oh, that's what I was saying, yeah. Intellectualizing. You don't want to intellectualize it. You don't want to look at tomorrow and be like, well, tomorrow's not possible because you only have today's knowledge, you know? You don't have next week's knowledge. You don't have next year's knowledge. So if you try to intellectualize it, it'll only bring you to a darkness space. It'll only show you how little you have rather than show you the possibilities if you just go forward. Yeah. And then this is a little different. I don't usually do the Lenormand cards with this, but I had a feeling for this set of pick-a piles. So mountain. Oh yeah, mountain. So I mean, and it does. It feels like you've made a mountain of this. This is like a trek. Yeah. And look how there's like faces right here. And there's a face here. And it's just like, I feel like I'm reading this intuitively. I'm not necessarily going by specifically Lenormand cards. I'm more so doing it like oracle wise. And there's even faces here. But some of you guys may feel like the mountain, like this mountain you're climbing is like faces, or are people you have to move past, or maybe pains and people have wronged you, or things like that you have to move past and heal past. And it may look like it's like this huge, crazy, like monster crater person, whatever, up on top. And it's like, well, by the time you're here, it's not going to be that scary. But you just have to take your path. I mean, see, there's a path right there. This just goes through trees. You can't look over there and be like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to make it. You just keep going. And by the time you finally get in there, you won't even see that they're faces. It'll just be like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. I mean, if you think about it like this too, like see all the lines in this and the lines here. So really it's like I'm taking one thing at a time, but also being honest with yourself about what needs to change as far as your approach and you intellectualizing the situation. 21, 40, just trying to see if there's anything with that. Okay. So yeah, let me know what resonates, what doesn't. Like I said, I'll put the decks in the description below. And yeah, and if you feel led to check out the other piles, I would suggest you do that. This is the first pile I'm doing tonight, so I can't suggest that, oh, this is anything like the others, but also, hold on, let me think. Libra's reading this last time. I don't know. If you're a Libra and you feel led to check out the Libra reading, I suggest you do. If you have Libra, you're dealing with a Libra, and same with Gemini, or or Gemini, but well, because Gemini's here, but I feel like some of the messages I gave here was for Gemini's reading too, and for Cancer's reading. Yeah, okay. So yeah, check out what you feel led to check out, and I will see you next time. Hey, pile 2. Okay, so this is your pile. If you picked pile 2, I will go ahead and have the decks listed in the description below, for all the piles in general. And yeah, so let's get started. Actually feel like doing this one first. Okay, so let's go for it. Open mind. It says replace the old cycle with a new and exciting one. So that could also correspond with like a tarot death card or tarot tower card, where it's the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new one. It's interesting. This is really bright colored. And I know this feels like this is the new coming in, but it's just interesting how that's really bright. So I feel like for some of you guys, maybe the new that you think is coming in may not be what you think, and you still do have new coming in, but it may be different than what you're thinking. Maybe it's not really in your focus or in the focus in the moment, but it's kind of a supporting role, if that makes sense. It's very interesting. Like, it's all the same colors like that, and then this is one like change. Open mind, and especially it takes like an open mind, because a lot of times it's like we think something new's coming in and we know it, we got it, blah blah blah, and it's like, well, that makes us close our mind off to other possibilities. So it's saying keep an open mind so you don't cut off the energy flow for other possibilities or other things that might actually be what's coming in. And then there's like this darkness here, so I feel like some of you guys might focus and sometimes on the darkness or on the, oh, it's not coming yet, and where is it, and you know, I'm here waiting, and you know, so just keep that right there, I guess. Okay, and then wow, okay, this one. And this is Lenormand cards. I don't usually use them very much in my readings. Actually, I've never so far in the YouTube readings. However, I felt like doing it this time. I had a feeling, and I'm doing it more like oracle cards. So I'm not really following the regular Lenormand, or I'm not purposely following the Lenormand meanings. But again, I do feel this is the same way. It's like, this is saying open mind. It's almost like open book, you know? So it's like when you have an open mind, you are more open to turn the page to other pages, or you're more, I don't know how to describe, but basically you're not just like, okay, well, this is how it happens in fairy tales. This is how this always happens, so I expect it to be this way. You know, you don't close yourself off. You just kind of like, it's almost like you're reading a book for the first time. You have nothing to compare it to. You know, reading a book, hearing a story, you have nothing to compare it to. So I really feel like this is like, you know, letting everything come off the page. I mean, look at, that's crazy. Some of you guys, I'm trying to see all the different ones. I mean, yeah, I see Taurus, I see all the planets, the moon, Cancer. So some of you guys might be dealing with a Cancer or a Taurus, or you are a Cancer Taurus yourself. But regardless, I just feel like this is creating the framework, and they're coming out. So it's like, it's kind of like free from your story, free things from your story, free things from your mentality of this needs to be this way because this is all I've ever had. So open your mind, you know, open your mind. It might not be what you focus in is coming. Something else might be coming. As long as, you know, the new cycle or the old cycle is ending. Let's go with, I think I'm good with this. Okay, yeah. And I don't do reversals, so we'll see if they come out. But yeah, there we go. So 2 of Wands, 4 of Wands. It's a lot of wands. Oh, Wands, Wands, Pentacles, Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Knight, not 9. I feel like I said 9. And Page of Pentacles. Let me see if there's a reason I said 9 of Pentacles, if that would apply. I'm not quite sure. We'll see on that. Okay, so 2 of Wands is, you know, it's kind of a surveying things. You know, it's not necessarily making a decision in your head like the 2 of Swords per se, but it's like, you know, it's surveying the energy, looking at your options, looking at possibilities, and you're almost kind of like about to bring things forward, bring that creative, passionate energy forward. You know, some of you might be dealing with ideas for, you know, bringing an idea or a creative project. But it's kind of surveying things, looking at, you know, trying to make decisions. In this one, I do feel like there's a lot of energy of looking backwards though, especially like he's got this wand facing this way, and I think even this one facing this way, but his head's back and then his is back. And I feel this idea of like monkey see, monkey do. So it's like some of you guys maybe have, you know, dealt with family or parents or leaders in the past. It could even be business, even though this is, I mean, it could be business stuff, but where they're, you know, looking back. So you feel like, okay, well, that's the way to succeed in this, is I need to look back and always double check things. And sometimes that's a good energy to be in. But I just feel like for some of you guys, the only reason you've done it is because that's all you've been shown. So, and because of that, maybe there's an element of not moving forward, staying in this 2 of Wands, and sometimes getting stuck in that. because you're just constantly looking back instead of looking forward to where you're going and allowing yourself to pick up on that energy to go forward. It's kind of the looking back. It's the looking at, okay, well, what's missing, or looking at what's trying to come in, instead of being open the fact that what is new as you go forward, because everything that he's moved past and everything that's behind him, he's already been through. So it's kind of a matter of only being able to see or being able to picture what what you've already experienced. So I feel like a lot of that for you guys, there might be a lot of that in this. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Four of Wands is, it's kind of building foundation. It's foundational energy as far as, again, passionate, creative, but it's this foundational and like building like a leadership. It's like a leadership situation, but it's almost building the foundation so that you can be seen as a leader. So not necessarily that's, some of you might not be dealing with that exact situation, but it's that energy of putting a foundation down and like allowing yourself to be seen as a leader. And along with this card, I feel like in this situation with the energy that's coming from that, I do feel like some of you guys might be questioning your position as this leader. You're trying to build as a leader, whether it is an actual leader for other people or it's a leader in yourself, in your mind, to feel like you can guide yourself and you can lead things. You can trust yourself. And it's kind of just constantly been looking back. So I feel like there's like a steadiness of maybe some of you guys have gotten a lot of help in the past. And so, it's a matter of, well, when you don't have that help, you're kind of constantly been looking backwards and looking at only the familiar instead of being open to what can be new coming in. Especially there's like these bubbles right here. And it just feels like, it's like, that's such a different element. Like you don't go to the forest and expect like bubbles just, flying around. So I just feel like there's just like, even that too. It's not the exact same, but, actually is that like a tree? I can't see that very well, but it's that idea of like, there's unexpected things everywhere. So you can't go in expecting everything's always going to be the same. And you can't go in expecting that you always have to have that help either. So it's like, you guys seem like you're very much in a changing state. Knight of Pentacles is motion, movement, but it's movement, kind of really slow movement. Again, it's a double checking. Okay, well, I want to make sure I do everything right. I want to make sure I, cross my T's, dot my I's. I want to make sure I get this all correct before I move so I don't, make any mistakes. I do feel like, because I said 9 of Pentacles, and I feel like there's a purpose in that. I feel like some of you guys are taking this as a 9 of Pentacles card and a 9 you might be seen as you're taking it as a 9 of Pentacles card. So you might be the Knight of Pentacles, but you might have this energy of, okay, let me double check things and I need to know everything accurately before I move. But you might be seen as, oh, you're just taking a break, because the 9 of Pentacles card is kind of a vacation card, but it's an element of, okay, well, I've built everything I can, and not everything I can, but I've built it up so much. I've built up this business, or I've built up this avenue, this thing I'm working on, so much so that now I feel that it's safe to take a break. So I feel like some of you guys may be seen, instead of being the Knight of Pentacles and actually moving, as just taking a break and not really moving, and maybe in some ways taking advantage of the situation, not because you are, but some people might be misjudging or misseeing your energies right now in your place, and they might be feeling like, oh, well, you're just taking advantage of a situation, a cushy environment, whatever it is. Yeah, because there's an element of trotting here. I actually feel like in this Knight of Pentacles, hold on, let me get this. Yeah, I actually feel like in this Knight of Pentacles, this is like an energy you're trying to move towards. Some of you guys might already be in it, and some of you are trying to move towards it. It's just, you kind of are taking this energy, this back forth, and this element, and you've been trying to build a foundation, but again, you felt kind of questioning, and you're trying to take, and that's why, you're appearing as the Knight of Pentacles, or not appearing, you are acting in the Knight of Pentacles energy of, okay, let me take my time, let me make sure this is right, let me cross my T's, dot my I's, all that. However, someone else you might be dealing with, this could be business situation, a creative pursuit, passion, relationship. It could be whatever. But it could be very well a creative pursuit or a business situation for sure. Sorry, there's like, gosh. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it's like you're coming in with this energy, but other people, whoever might be waiting on you or, counting on you in a business situation, whatever it is, even, family members, things like that, could be seeing you as, oh, you're just taking advantage of, wanting to take a break, and you might be being lazy. Not saying you are being lazy, but they're not seeing action as fast as they'd like. So that's, some of them might be going to that mentality about you. And then the Page of Pentacles it's a lot of times it's a messenger, or it's a potential for, Pentacles is material and financial things or, situation, energy. So it can be like the potential or a messenger, that will bring or that will change the energies, change things in order to allow in this new Pentacles energy. So I do feel like you're trying to go towards that. And I feel like some of you guys may feel like this is an actual person. It's either a person, or sometimes it might be like, I feel like for some of you, it might be like a dream you've had, like, something you've held on to. This is the way this is supposed to look. So I need to get this from this, and, I need to have it this way, and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like some of you guys are taking that straight out of your book, straight out of your book of what you've always wanted, what you feel like how the world works. And so you're kind of just going with this energy. So you're going with this slow, double check everything energy, part of it because of second guessing yourself and second guessing and only wanting to look backwards because that's what's familiar and being afraid of the new. And you're trying to get to this, but this technically is just in a book. It's only your book. It's only the book that you've ever seen, the only book you've ever seen. I mean, not saying you've only seen one book, but it's not going to appear the way, I really feel for, for some of you guys, it's not going to be what you're expecting. I mean, it could be amazing, whatever, but that's not the point. It's not going to come in the form that because this is a new phase, a new chapter. It's not going to have the same storylines. It's not going to operate within this structure. Sovereignty, Queen of the Moon. And I do get this idea, she's like, it's Queen of the Moon, it's sovereignty, but there's there's a pride. Some of you guys are really dealing with having this pride, this mentality of, even the moon, look at that, of things are going to look the way I expect them to look. And so you might be taking that as a pride, as a security in yourself, as a strength that you can go forward because you know what to expect, or because you think you're going to know what to expect. So as long as everything looks like, everything's safe and there's nothing new, nothing crazy coming out, you're like, okay, I'm good to go forward. But the thing is if you do that, then you eliminate, oh my God. Okay. I was going to say limit yourself, but apparently I'm saying eliminate. You limit yourself what's coming up, and you eliminate the possibility for things to go even better than they ever have. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to go with that kind of energy, and you want to actually embrace this open mind, embrace an open book, embrace things off of the page. So it's not only what you've ever known. Trying to see if there's anything intuitively that I'm seeing in this that otherwise. I just get the sense that some of you guys may feel like you're right in position to get this new thing coming, this new whatever. And like I said, it is probably different than what you're expecting. But doesn't mean it's worse. It's just different. And you're in this position to get this new energy, new thing coming through. And some of you have taken a lot of pride in that. Some of you are like, okay, I'm right in place, so this is going to happen. I'm going to get what I want. And it's like, yeah, you might get what you want, but what you want might not look like what you've ever, you know, it might be a different language than you've ever known. It might be better. Like your highest self's goals and dreams might look so much different than what you limit yourself to, what you may be limiting yourself to. So it's really like a matter of not limiting yourself. Not limiting yourself to only look backwards and to not, you know, to only think everything has to be as it was, because that's keeping you from going forwards. But then not limiting yourself in general, like, so that, yeah, because it's not always going to look like that. Some of you guys might be dealing with a situation. I mean, I feel like maybe there is a relationship situation for some of you that you're expecting, okay, well, this is the way this is going to look, and this is the way it has to look, and, you know, this is the way, you know, I'm going to meet my person, and this is the way this, that, and it's like, it's not always going to be that. Some of you guys, it might be healing stuff, creative pursuits, business stuff, you know, regardless, like, the universe wants to bless you, you know, spirit, God, universe wants to bless you, wants to bless you beyond what you have in your storybook. Because your storybook is written by people, and there's so much more, and it's already written. So much better can happen now, can be given. It can only get better. You know, there's so much stuff that can happen. Yeah, so I hope that resonates with you guys, pile 2. Let me know in the comments if it did or didn't. And yeah, like I said, I'll put the decks in the description below. Hey, pile 3. So this is your pile if you picked pile 3. I will go ahead and put the description or the decks in the description below. Let's see. Okay, let's go with these first. And I don't do reversals, so. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, so 2 of Swords, the Empress, the Queen of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. Wow, that's a lot of swords. Some of you guys are really in your head right now. In your head, or, you know, putting down boundaries, you know, it's verbal, mental energy. The Empress, so 2 of Swords is, you know, trying to make a decision, juggling, not juggling, but just in your thoughts, trying to make a decision, decide on something. I do feel like this is like, I choose you type thing, but maybe even some of it might be for you guys. Maybe like you might be sick of having that pressure for some of you guys, of making the right decision. So it's like, okay, let me see if I can hit this bullseye. If I can hit this, then it's mine. The Empress is really creative energy, but it's creative and it's motherly, nurturing energy. However, it's also, I mean, some of you might be pregnant right now, or, you know, dealing with, working on that, working towards that, especially with this right here like that. But it's generally, it's nurturing energy, and it's kind of like, it's the idea of, you know, you create something, you nurture something, but then you nurture it to be its best self. So it's not just, oh, I'm going to make something and I'm going to, you know, make it do a good job. It's literally like nurture it past that and beyond that, you know, to be its best self. Queen of Swords is influence in the material, or not material. Okay, but I feel like maybe I said that for a reason, so we'll see with that. But it's influence in the mental and communicative, you know, energies. And then Ace of Swords is potential or a new, like usually a lot of times it can be like a new thought, new idea, or grasping onto something. Some of you guys may be putting down a boundary or grasping onto that concept, or grasping onto, you know, holding your power. I really feel like that's for you guys. Some of you guys holding your power, but it could be in a intellectual, mental, or verbal sense. So I feel like for some of you guys though, wow, there is some of you guys that are trying to get pregnant, or are trying to like maybe decide pregnancy. For those of you that doesn't resonate, It could just be a creative energy. You want to be that motherly energy, whether it's mother actual, or just, you know, being able to nurture something you grow, something. But I feel like some of you guys, like I said, you've waited and you haven't known which path you're taking necessarily. I mean, I know there's not a card over here, but still. And I feel like it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to try. And if it hits, it hits. And so it's like, I feel like this, like literally, it's like the bullseye, the red and white is matching up with this. So it really feels like you're selecting this. And some of you guys, it's manifesting it. Some of you guys, it's this whole idea. You've had this choice and you finally decided, you know what, I'm just going to do it, whether it seems reasonable or possible or not. I'm just going to do it. And if it happens, then it's meant to be. So some of you guys have kind of just like flown out and, you know, utilize that manifesting energy, utilize that energy to be in vibration, in alignment to your vibration, in alignment to, you know, your higher self, in alignment in general. And what's coming, again, holding her power though, like there's all these, I mean, all of these holding their power, and it's like, okay, well, she does that, but then it turns to this creative energy and she's surrounded by these animals. I feel like some of you guys in this energy that you're in, whether you're actually pregnant or working towards it or any of that, even still, if that's not you, you know, either way, your energy is like attracting these, you know, people or, you know, even maybe animals. Maybe some of you are working with animals, but attracting this energy of, honestly, I feel like companions, team members. I mean, something that needs to be nurtured and built, but I do feel like this, like, it's like, I just hear like man's best friend. So it's like a best friend, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's energy that's going to work with you, not against you, not fight you. And that's going to want the best or want to nurture you in that. So it's almost like, you know, like, I mean, what is it? Like, not seeing eye dogs, but, you know, compassion, animals compassion. I don't remember what the term is, but you know, whenever they're helping you and everything, you know, the service animals and stuff like that, it's like that. I feel like some of you guys may need to utilize the help you might have in front of you, around you, because each of these like have these, I mean, I know these cards in general do, but I feel like a lot of you guys, there might be a situation that's like, you're trying to pick something and you're trying to be like, okay, I'm going to choose this. But as soon as you do need to know that some of your companion animals or your energies that you attract may change, not for the worst. It might just change a little bit. But regardless, then ultimately it's a matter of, you know, having influence in, you know, taking this energy and not just leaving it here. I mean, this is a really great place for you, but letting that permeate into yourself to where you're able to say, okay, well, now I know my worth. I know what I'm capable of creating. I know what I'm capable of nurturing, whether it's in myself or an actual being or whatever, you know, motherhood, whatever it is, that I'm going to, you know, be able to put down my boundaries and say, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I believe. And putting down boundaries and influencing in general, influencing through that. Maybe you may, I really feel like, especially if this is like, if this is you in a helping situation, maybe you might be dealing with helping mothers or dealing with helping maybe even young mothers. It would be like, it's like you could be showing them, okay, well, this is what it looks like when you put down your boundaries, you know, and empowering them in that to be able to put down boundaries. So it's like in that nurturing energy, you bring it and you pull it through. I mean, especially she has that red there and the white here. I just feel like she's still pulling it through. There's a hearts, I think, on that. It's like pulling this energy through and saying, okay, I'm going to permeate that. And then taking it with the Ace of Swords and being like, I'm holding up this power. So now I used it in this influential place. But now it's like, this is just mine in general. I don't need it only to use for other people or use for situations. This is just something I wield. So I really feel like, and it's like, the cat's like not even like, I mean, this cat's looking out at us and these are playing, but this one's like looking at that and it's like, yeah, we can do this. So it's this idea of empowering other people. I feel like some of you guys are really in a field of empowering others. If you're not doing the mother thing, and using that is, I mean, okay, for those of you that are doing the mother thing, that's, you know, influencing yourself, not influencing yourself, but, like I said, bringing that, like actual mothers, bringing that energy and everything. and being able to be that influence in your home, or, you know, in general, of, you know, okay, well, these are my boundaries and this is what I'm working with, this is what I'm doing, and really kind of finding your voice in that, and then taking it to this place of, it doesn't need a place, it's just who I am. And so it's always going to be present and, what is it? Not accepted, but welcome by me. You know what I mean? Like, you're really coming into your power. It's funny too, because that's so funny. Look at that. Like, that's the same cape as she has there. So it's literally, she's going from, I'm going to just put it, whatever, you know, hits, whatever works, I'm just going to go for it. And then she goes out to this, and it's like, I just feel this energy, this whole like expanse. And it's funny too, because the broom's standing here and the broom's laying down here. It's like, I just feel like she is so alive in her power in that she's not trying to fly other places. She's not trying to fly out and do all this. It's like she already has it within her. It's like what she's seeking has been within her all along, and she finally is holding it. She's finally acknowledging it and utilizing it, and she's just fully empowered. So that's a very beautiful reading for you guys, pile 3. Like, okay, so far, and it hasn't even gone yet. Okay, let's go with this one. House, yeah, okay. So some of you guys are working at building your house, at building a house, connecting that. I feel like also there's and these are Lenormand cards. I don't usually read Lenormand cards in my readings on here. So I'm reading this more like an oracle card, more intuitive based. But I do feel like there's a path situation though. It's like, you can say you want this house, whatever it is, but you have to understand like the way to get there, the way to get to that house. So if this is your house and it's been in your dreams, manifesting it, and it's like red and white, the same way, red and white, red and white, it's like, it's yours. This is your thing. You know, it's a matter of understanding the pathway to get there, and understanding that some of these steps don't look like anything but a rock. But ultimately, if you just keep going, the next one, the next one, the next one, it's pretty soon you're at the house. And that's kind of what this is right here. It's like, okay, I may or may not hit this. I don't even know if I can handle this, but hey, I'm going to try. So some of you guys really are like, I mean, yeah, some of you guys are working stuff in the home and trying to get pregnant, and you might be pregnant. But ultimately this is saying what you're going to do with that. You're not just going to leave it there, and you're going to let it empower your entire life so that you can lead others and you can guide others. But ultimately you'll make this house a home, whether it's this house actually, or, you know, every house in general. You will bring that light and that healing in that way. Trust your gut feeling. Okay, let your heart lead you to who you are. Exactly. It's like, obviously, if you're here, just keep going. Trust your gut feeling. If this has been your dream, just keep going for it. Even if it doesn't seem feasible, even if it doesn't seem like it's possible. It's funny too, because it's like these like things, like all this, and even like this right here, and it's like we can question this and that, but ultimately it's a chick, and she's like dancing and like, she's like, I don't know, leaning back, whatever. But it's this idea, like, it's almost kind of like that. And look at that. And it's like, well, just trust. You're going to get there. Even if there might be stuff and things along the way and different stuff, and you don't know what's what, you don't know the elements you're working with, it doesn't matter. You don't have to. Like, you just have to trust, and it's going to keep going. You just have to go forward. And then fear. Okay, so this one, I read this card differently usually than the way, like, because I read this deck, like sometimes I read by the word and sometimes I read by, you know, the image. And what I see with this is like, it's like, hold on, just in case I see something else for you guys. Yeah, I do. I see it as like, I don't see this as bad energy at all. I see it as letting birds out. I see it as like flying. The birds are letting this energy, this like spiritual energy guide and everything. It's just a matter of letting it out, not because to wreak havoc per se, but letting it out so that you can be honest with yourself. It's like you might have been in this place, some of you guys, of fearing, of question, can I really do this? What am I? You know, what is this element I'm in? And it's like, but there's light in there. So when you go to that place that's safe in yourself, and you be honest with yourself, and you let this stuff come out, and you let, I feel like for some of you guys, you let imperfections happen. You let, maybe there's difficulties in the pregnancy situation. Not saying the pregnancy you'll have, but you know, this road you've had to get here. You know, maybe there's difficulties. Maybe there's been difficulties in creating what you've been trying to create and birth, you know, in general. And it's just being honest with yourself, letting that come out so it doesn't rule you, and you can actually hold it. You know what I mean? So that, you know, it's like, it's almost like letting your shadow out so your shadow doesn't guide you. Like, not guide you, but doesn't like rule you. And then that way, like, you can be in a place of light, and then, like, you know, letting it take its course, basically. But regardless, it's a matter of just trusting yourself and not being afraid to just be you and to just throw it, whether you think it's going to work or not. You know, go to that safe place and just let these parts of yourself start coming out. Don't try to control it. Don't try to reel things in and, you know, seek perfection in yourself. You're not in a place to seek perfection. You're going to come to that place of just it naturally coming. But if you're trying to force perfection, you're just changing the outside. You're not actually changing who you are on the inside, and it ultimately would hinder your growth and make it to where you feel more stunted. So I hope that resonated for you guys, pile 3. Let me know what did and what didn't in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. And I haven't been telling everyone, but yeah, share this video if you feel like there's piles in these that resonate for people, and you feel like this could be really helpful. Just share it on your pages and social media, all that good stuff. Yeah, so and yeah, I'll go ahead, like I said, and put the decks in the description below. Thanks. See you next time. Hey, pile 4. So if you picked pile 4, this is your pile. I'll go ahead and put the the decks in the description below, so that way you can know. It's like any of these. Okay, let's go with, actually, let's go with this. Okay, so, and I don't do reversals, so none were reversed. Okay, the full card. And then, hopefully you guys can see this. Let me double check. Yeah, good. Okay, so the Fool card. Make sure. The Two of Cups. The Ten of Swords. And the Star card. It's really weird. I feel like for some of you guys, you might be in a situation. I mean, the Fool is normally about just going through and just like kind of, it's like, it's not necessarily innocent energy, but it's just like loose. It's loose, you know, what happens, see what happens, exploring energy, that type of thing. But I feel for some, like, this feels very like laying down. I mean, I know it's a possum, is that what it is? Yeah. A possum. But like, it feels like laying down and like, what's really funny is, I think it's a possum, an opossum, yeah. But like, I almost feel like this is one animal and this is another, so it looks like a different animal laying down. So I feel like for some of you guys, like, you might be resting in things on yourself, like resting on things you've done, or your looseness in your attitude is based off of who you are and what you've built. But for some of you, you might be dealing with being judged or being seen as you're just relying on somebody else, or you're just relying on something outside of you. Or maybe, you know, someone that's like a sibling or something. You might be relying, it might look like you're relying on somebody else, when in reality, this is all you. So this is who you are. Whether this is who you've been or not, I don't know. But regardless, this is who you actually are right now. The Two of Cups is about emotional connection. Sometimes it's a relationship situation, connection, emotional release. Yeah, it feels like what it is this energy is kind of mimicking that. So it feels like this is all like, this is two, but it's like, feels like you don't know where one thing starts and the other one ends type thing. So there might be a situation where there's like a codependency, or you're such the fool, not the fool like an actual fool, but in your romantic situation or in a relational, I mean, this is swords and this is a star. So yeah, relational situation, it could be whatever, or you know, you're such this energy of just, oh well, whatever comes, whatever happens, we'll just deal with it, that sometimes you might get swallowed up as looking like this other thing, or this, you know, like it just feels like a very codependent energy, whether you're actually codependent or not, like actually in that sense, is one thing, but it just feels like sometimes you might lose yourself or lose your individuality, and just be seen as resting on the other person, when in reality this is all you. So like, I just feel like there's something with that. It's so different. And it's funny, as this is emotional release, a lot of times it's like emotional connection. So it feels like sometimes you do feed off of it. Some of you are like in a, you know, codependent situation, and you might have gotten that way from being this fool in this situation. But again, like I said, you may look smaller than you are because of your codependent situation. You may look and think of yourself as smaller than you are. You may even forget that this all is you, that you're not just this, but this is all you. So some of you guys might not be valuing yourselves in all your giftings, and or seeing yourself as, you know, bringing to the table as much as you do. And it might be because you're limited in this. Wow. Yeah, it might be a very, like, for some of you, there might be a situation, a relationship where, you know, you might be feeling like you can't speak out, or you have to walk on eggshells, or my throat chakra is going nuts right now. Yeah, that you can't speak your truth. Some of you guys might feel like that. And so, you know, the Ten of Swords, it might feel like you feel like it's a lost cause, like that, you know, it's done, like, jeez. Yeah, where you just have to like hide out, where it's like, let me hide under the bigger force. Let me hide under that. And because like you feel like it's a lost cause, you don't feel like you have your own, I want to say energetic imprint. You know, you're so like connected to the other person. And this could be romantic, and this could even be like a toxic friendship situation, that you feel like you're not yourself, like you feel like you're not good enough on your own. Some of you, it can also be like a parental situation, you know, a toxic parental thing where, you know, you've been mother hen so much that you forgot that, like, to actually see yourself as a whole, you know, so you've just, you know, kind of kept being there because you haven't believed in yourself. And the star, it's like the star card is generally like having, you know, hope and trust and believing that, like, in omens and good omens. So if you've been told, you know, you're more than that and you're better, and like you're not just this guy, but you're like this, you know, like, you know, trusting in that and going forward anyways, and treating yourself. It's almost like treating yourself in the light that, you know, the highest light, in that mentality of, you're not limited to what you see in this moment only. You're not, excuse me. Yeah, geez. Oh, this is really harsh. Not harsh what's coming out, but what I'm feeling for this reading for you guys, this energy is really heavy. And I do feel like for some of you guys, like for this person sitting right here, I don't even know, is it a person, half animal, what it is, but like they have this, like, okay, I'm armed, but I feel like it's so like defeated feeling, and it's almost like a last resort. Like I just feel this idea that like it's a last resort, because some of you guys might feel like you don't have your own energy, and so your hopes and your dreams you might feel like have to be in alignment with their hopes and their dreams, whether that actually is for your best interest or not. Yeah, so let's go ahead and pull this too. Or let me see, double check. Yeah, again, this is like this person's under this cat, and it's like the cat's hair is so much that it's like it's hard to see what's part of the cat and what's part of the person. So it's like you've gotten so like, in this one, let's see, there's that, and like the hunting we will go, it's like trusting, but it's like even in that death, even in what looks like there's nothing there, like keep moving forward, move forward, but don't limit yourself to this mentality of what the other person is seeing for you. Imagination, draw from the well of your own capabilities. Yes, exactly what I was saying. Like your well, your image of your life, of who you are, of what you're capable of your power, shouldn't come from the other person's mind only. Like, draw from the well of your own capabilities. You're so much greater than what you've allowed yourself to believe about yourself. The path. Yeah, exactly. Go forward, even if it doesn't look like when she's down here, think about it. She's right here. Like, she can't see that this looks like anything cool. She can't see any of that. So it's like she has to get on here and just trust that this is a stairway, or not stair, but a ladder, and just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And by the time it comes up here, she's like, oh, wow, okay, this is to something cool, you know? So it's that kind of idea. And it's funny too, because this looks like it could be a path too, but it's like, instead of trusting this, like what's tangible, what's in her realm of what's comfortable, she's like, okay, no, you know what I mean? So that's what it is. It's like, instead of trusting in someone else's capabilities or what someone else tells you're capable of only, and what's limited you, you know, you're supposed to go forward. You're supposed to trust. You're supposed to have hope, and, you know, trust in the good omens, trust in the signs you've been given that you're more than all this, and just go forward and, you know, go up in there. Garden. Yeah. Oh, look at, okay. And this is a Lenormand deck, but I don't really use them that much. So I'm using it right now in here, but using it more like oracle cards instead of like looking at intuitively instead of the regular, like I'm not focusing on the meanings that much. For some of you guys, this is corresponding to this in the sense that the moon is like, when you haven't seen this, you've just seen that. And you've been like, okay, there's so much more out there. Like, I know there's more out there, even when you've seen like a glimpse of something. And it's like, I feel like this is like correspondent to it. Like, it's like, I know it's not the moon, but it's like the same light, the same feeling. And it's like, as you go forward, you're going to see the whole picture of things that you've only seen glimpses of before. But you have to take the faith. You have to take the step in faith to get there. It's funny how similar this is to that. It's funny too, because it's like there's so much more than what you see. Like, there's this person here, there's this person, you know, she can be there and not know that they're up there. I just get this idea that like there's so many possibilities in that garden, and like it's beyond, you know, it's not just what you see in the moment. It's not just what you see in the moment when you're enveloped in this energy, when you're hidden in this, when you're, you know, it's like you're supposed to see. I mean, part of the 10 of Swords card is, you know, down normally, like in the tarot, the person's down, you know, with the 10 swords in their back, but there's light on the other side. There's this like new day element, this idea of like, you can't be stuck in that mentality. You can't be stuck there. So it's like, it feels like very much so, like you can't be stuck in only what you can see here and only the moment there. Like you get out of that. Like, you know what I mean? You draw from the well of your own capabilities. And some of you guys, it is your own capabilities. It's like some of you guys might have to get back in touch with what are you good at? Because you are good at a lot of things, but like, some of you, you might have been relying on the other person, or, you know, being so close to the other person that you've thought that their strengths or your strengths were some of theirs, and you've kind of lost touch of your own and valuing your own. So it's really a matter of like bringing power back to how you see yourself, and like, I don't know, like empowering yourself in that. I don't know how to word that. I don't know, like giving yourself new life. Like basically, instead of like feeling like everything you have is attributed to the other person, everything good about you, like really see like what you've done in your life, like how you've come where you are, how the things that you love about yourself, like how did you get there, what did you do? And not even just that, like I just feel like for some of you guys, it's really a matter of taking inventory in yourself and like seeing like how you got where you are, some of your best traits, your empathy, your understanding of people, your desire for connection. Some of you guys might be dealing with that. Some of you guys might have gotten in this place because you've been so open to other people, because you've been valuing connection. And it's like, well, to get to that place, you've been through so much already. So it's like, value that in yourself instead of letting it be something that takes you away and closes you up. Value it in yourself and start, you know, almost like, I don't know, for some of you guys, like putting down boundaries and writing a list out of, you know, like, okay, you know, what isn't resonating as far as like, what are you doing? What are you saying to people that's not loving to you and yourself and your heart? You know, what mixed messages are you giving yourself by allowing other people to treat you a certain way? You know, start really like taking inventory of who you are, what you allow yourself to believe and others to treat you as, and start really seeing like who you are, like what you value of yourself, you know. Draw from the well of your own capabilities, like the light, like it's like bring from that light, the same well. Yeah, so I hope that resonates for you guys, pile 4. Let me know in the comments what does and what doesn't. And yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this, you know, that's awesome. Especially if you think that, you know, people will really resonate with it, or, you know, get a good message from it or whatever, you know, share it and just trust the universe that, you know, whatever pile they're meant to hear, they're going to hear it. They're going to see it. So, you know, a lot of times we see these right when we're going to be more willing to accept it, or we're more willing to hear the message, or we're in a place to be able to take action. But only God, universe, you know, spirit knows when that is. So, you know, just throw it out there, you know. Yeah, share the wealth and don't be stuck in your own limitations of yourself or believing that. So yeah, I will see you next time.